for by the Rage You Nerds.
Welcome to Rage You Nerds. TJ is absurdly big time in us right now. Whoa.
Oh, I've shrunk.
You guys are all over the place.
Shrunk?
You boys act like you've been here before. Act like you've been here before.
First night back in 2 weeks, and all of a sudden, starting off with glitches.
Starting off with a glitch and technical difficulties. Welcome to Rage You Nerds.
Hey, positive though. What'd you think about that Still Dre piano cover? So the YouTube says, "What if Still Dre was by Hans Zimmer?" And that was.
I'm digging it. It's got a groove. To it.
I believe the young folks say that that's a banger. Is what they say now. That's a banger. That's a banger
right there.
I am MrCAC. That is Jared below me, very small. He's my older brother, regardless of his dimensions. To the other side of me is Travis. TJ, our friend, compatriot, lover of things that we also love. Good cover, recovered. All right, so welcome to Rage You Nerds. It's Friday. We talk nerdy stuff on Friday. Sometimes there's a plan, sometimes there's not a plan. I'll let you guess as we go through the night what is going on.
Tonight's about 50-50.
Yeah. Gosh, Jared. Let's see. Let's do internal.
Don't blow me up that big. People can see my wrinkles.
Yeah, I was looking at the video from the Christmas book read, and I was like, man, when did I get old?
Dude,
I was looking at that. I'm like, who is this 50-year-old gent reading a book about Die Hard?
You know, I think the Masterpiece Theater clip I put in before that probably also like further aged you by the time it got to you. And it's like, well, this is very old footage, and now it's an old guy. It all makes sense. I was super proud of how that all turned out, by the way. That was lovely.
It did work. It worked well. Yeah.
As someone that watched that literally like 5 times, I very much liked that.
Oh, gosh. Times. I wish I'd only watched it 5 times. Lining, which,
just
by the way, I'm not... go ahead, TJ.
Just so you know, I am not able to pronounce Takagi, apparently.
Takagi.
Man,
Takagi.
I'm not here to judge, man. I'm just like...
So, well, now that it's there, now we can do a little behind the scenes on it. Basically how we did that. I shot the intro and outro in my living room with TJ and Baby Yoda and the puppy Santa Claus. But then as far as the audio goes, TJ recorded that on back in, in my little studio area. And everything was basically one take, and if he messed up, he kept going, and then I went in and cut out all these parts. Well, in order to give him complete sanctuary while I was doing this, I left and went into another room for as long as it took him, and I went back in, and I listened to it a little bit. I'm like, all right, levels are good, this works, all right, great, all right, cool, TJ, good night, see you later. And then when I started putting it together, there was the one line, and I don't know, it was the only time.
It was the ruined Takagi suit.
Ruined Takagi suit. And TJ had actually said Tagaki, like got the K and the G backwards. And I was listening, and I texted him immediately. I'm like, we might have to redo one or two parts. And the other one was my fault. I'd cut off something a little too early, and after it was deleted, I had to get it back. So what I thought was going to be like a one-take thing, but then the photos in it, I was like, how am I going to get this into kind of a video format where I can make this work? So for all you watching out there, what I actually did, and here's the super cool Photoshop thing that I did. I took my cell phone, this thing right here, and I went through and I took a picture of every page in that book. And then I cropped them down and put them in the program, picture by picture by picture. So I had to line up his audio with what he was saying at the time, which, and again, I'm not a video editor. I'll do audio all day long, and I've done some videos. But it was a whole lot of fun putting it together because this program I use, pretty much like Photoshop or anything else, you can stretch the picture for as long as you want it to go in the video. And so it was a challenge kind of going, I wish I would have taken more pictures because each page had maybe one or two pictures on it sometimes. So I wanted to make sure I got everything in there, but it's like there's some things I was like, I'm staying on this shot way too long. I wish there was another picture I could have put in here.
No,
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and TJ did a great job.
Yep, I thought it all looked good.
Mr. Tagagi.
For Mr. Miyagi.
Tagaki.
Well, I don't know. I thought it all worked out. It was beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye. I ran it twice. I watched it once in full because like I had seen it a bunch of times while adding my pieces to edit it and then making sure that it seemed like everything was working when y'all sent it my way. And I was like, well, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's watch this. So I watched it in its entirety. I'm like, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. You know, I don't got anything else to do. Let's vamp another full hour out of them. I'm gonna get to an hour. I'm gonna rewatch this to close the stream. And gosh darn it, that's what I did. We got to see it twice. So I thought it was fun.
I did. I watched it with everybody. Everybody on my end that watched it thought it was pretty good.
I know. I thought it was great. We need more clever
Looking
ideas
forward
like
to
that.
next Christmas.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's as good, but I did find a Home Alone-esque version that looked similar to that. So I don't know if it's the same quality as the Die Hard one was, but if nothing else, it's a children's book based on a movie where people get physically assaulted with paint cans. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
sure.
what's not fun about that?
I'm sure there's something to highlight from there. There's a lot of weird books on Amazon. I know we kind of dropped the shtick for the time being about the weird stuff on Amazon, and I plan on going back to that, but there is some terrifyingly odd stuff on Amazon right now. New
year, new us.
Yeah. New year, same unbelievable bullcrap on Amazon. Only available for you, Amazon Prime. I mean, I guess it's available for everyone, but if you want it in about 2 days now that the mailpocalypse is over, you can only get that with Amazon Prime. And listen, if you're going out there and you're getting Amazon Prime, you might as well come to Twitch. And if you come to Twitch, you can hook up your Amazon Prime to Twitch, and it becomes this thing called
Amazon Twitch.
Yeah, it used to be Twitch Prime, but now it's like Prime Time Slime Central. I don't know what it's called anymore, but it's something. And you get a free subscription with it, and you can just give it to us. You don't even have to think about it.
Actually,
you just give it to us, right? If we're the ones telling you to come to Twitch right now, you clearly weren't using Twitch. So what are you going to do? Go and find other people to watch? You could do that, but the world is scary. And there's a lot of content out there that would terrify you. And I imagine our base is a little bit older. And everyone else on this channel is just playing video games. And they're not playing good video games like Mario. Or even Mario. So come here, give us your whatever subscription, your free one. And, you know, whatever, man. I don't know. I just want a theater.
Some fun with us.
Give us your money so I can purchase a theater. So I can stream from an old, decrepit theater. I don't know if you guys saw it because you're in the Skype call, but our little title today is dance your cares away, and then come talk nerdy to us. But I really wanted to go full in on the Fraggle Rock, the dance your cares away, worries for another day, let the music play down at Fraggle Rock, because For those that haven't been paying attention, the world outside of our stream is a bit stressful right now. So we want you to come into our stream, not worry about the rest of the world. All you need are these four corners of the box that you're watching us on. And all we're going to talk about, politics? No, unless that has something to do with, a president involved with an alien invasion. Like Independence Day, I don't care about president. Like we talk nerd. So if you were looking for an escape, something to just let your mind melt for so many minutes, let us be that guy.
I even posted when I shared the stream tonight. I'm like, hey, why don't y'all come watch tonight? Take a break from the insane world out. I got big again.
Yeah, you're making a big statement, so you got big, man.
Making a big statement, so I got big. But that was my call to action tonight. I'm like, hey, are you tired of the insanity? Me too. Come, let's talk about things that aren't insane, or maybe they are, but they're not as stressfully insane. Haha. Yeah. So we're 8 days in to January, and nothing has gotten better.
Well, it's technically welcome to December 39th.
Come one, come all. December 39th.
December 39th. But listen, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about nerd stuff. So let's get to the nerd stuff. Also, TJ, how you doing, buddy? You over there looking cute.
He just saw four words.
I saw like a meme today. It said, I would like to cancel my trial, my 7-day free trial to 2021.
Yeah.
And I was like, amen to that.
Oh, hey, let's do this. Let's do like breaking news. A study done by I don't know who has stated this fact. Are you boys ready for this? TJ's not ready. He got small.
And changed his background.
HBO has, I guess it's been determined. I don't know if they released this or someone like a watchdog group did this, but get this. When Game of Thrones ended, HBO's viewership was halved. I mean, like, that's like saying Disney got rid of all the cartoons. Their viewership has halved. Like, okay, yeah. Like, man, you guys are bouncing all over the place. You're wild and crazy.
What is going on here?
Our internet has just missed one another, and now it's just going wild.
Mine has been, well, I say mine has been goofy all week. I haven't had it half the week, but it's been kind of it's been like I've noticed today too, like even on my phone, and I don't know if it's like something with the carrier that I use, who I will not say their name because they don't pay to have this time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there was something out there going on tonight that caused like every social media app to just, well, actually, yes, I do. There's a couple things, but like even like a Google search for something, I was like, oh, I saw a TV commercial and I was like, hey, I was thinking about that. Did a quick Google, not on Wi-Fi. 17 seconds later, brings up some results. So like people are massively using the internet tonight. So that probably has something to do with it.
Y'all people, unless you're using the internet to come watch TJ.
Watch us.
Oh, and the rest of us.
TJ.
But TJ.
Yeah.
We got to highlight our star, TJ. He's the only one that's got like a solo talking role. I did the stream one night by myself, not counting the holiday, the Christmas one. And dude, it was awful. It was a sports stream. I'm like, I don't know how people do this. Like, it felt so lonely talking. I'm like, oh my God, why am I still talking? But do you want another piece of breaking nerd news?
We could do some breaking nerd news.
Yes.
Let's see.
Breaking nerd news segment to the show.
Let me see. Was there another one that really?
Jared has grown in size.
Oh, he's ready.
Breaking news.
He's ready. Okay, yeah.
My
okay.
Indicates how excited I am.
Okay, yeah. So here we go. I got two more things to throw out there right quick.
She said.
Okay.
Breaking news.
Breaking
you nerds brings you live to CAC.
Breaking news. The creator of Dr. Sleep. So if you haven't seen Dr. Sleep, it's a sequel to The Shining. But it was also made into a movie. So Dr. Sleep's director wants to make a solo film in the Batman universe. Which character do you think he wants to use as the lead role?
Is this multiple choice?
Yes. Okay, multiple choice. Penguin, Clayface, Poison Ivy, or Hush?
Hush.
I
Hush would be.
feel like Penguin and Poison. It would. I like Penguin and Poison are kind of done enough already, but I could see where he could Doctor Sleep that up in a way like that. Just if you've seen the movie, the movie has a certain ambiance to it, which is why I like TJ's idea. So I am going to TJ. I'm going to say Hush.
Dude, that'd be so cool if it was Hush. It's Clayface. He wants to do a horror-driven type film with Clayface, which, you know, Clayface is kind of, if you wanted to, you could make it a tragic story, right? More so than maybe Hush, because Hush's tragedies, the Waynes. Like, curse you, Waynes. Also, childhood friend. Now I look like you. Curse you. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, man. But Clayface, you know, actor, struggling, gipty-goopty-goo, and now he's Clayface. It's just like, all right. We could probably make
you came to the South and you got in this red clay, man. You know, it's what happens.
I just think the only version of Clayface I actually really think of is like the Batman the animated series version where it's just like this big old thing of mud, and I'm like, I don't see how you can make like a full movie off of it.
Maybe not.
Also, like the Arkham Knight version, maybe.
Also, I'm pretty sure, but I may be wrong. Was Clayface?
I didn't get.
Was Clayface like, was he in the comics before that point? Or was that version the version that's become who Clayface the character is now?
That I don't know.
Yeah, that might maybe in my delirious text that I sent to you guys of let's start doing this deep dive stuff. Maybe that's one of those things that we eventually deep dive ourselves into. You boys, you silly willies.
I know Harley Quinn was created in the animated series, but Clayface, I'm not sure.
You know, back
but
in
they did
school,
a version of Clayface on. They did a version of Clayface on Birds of Prey.
Not a shot at the top of my head.
Yeah, man, I don't understand what you're trying to do,
Kicking
Jared.
off the new year, right?
Yeah, we're about to just become a radio show. I'm just going to post pictures of us and we'll just talk. It's safer.
Might be easier.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because I started the call, so I don't know if that has anything. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. Maybe if I hang up and come back. Well, TJ is having issues too, though, so. I don't.
All I know is I'm about to get new internet in about 3 weeks. So
you know.
So
if I think I've convinced the powers that be that I can do
it. If you boys keep bouncing around, maybe Jared, you do hang up and come back, but we don't have to do it right now because we still have
breaking news from the desk of MrCAC.
Hi, I'm MrCAC, and I'm reporting in live to let you know that Wesley Snipes, yes, that Wesley Snipes, the one that I think is bankrupt, but is still, you know, talking about things, has stated publicly that he is Blade forever.
So I've got no reason to doubt him.
So I mean, like, I don't know what you do with that.
Top of my head again.
Yeah, if you want to, do you want to try that back out and see if you can get back in the call?
Yeah, let's try it.
All right,
let's try it. So, save some Blade for me.
Okay,
that sounded weird.
Yeah. Travis, how are you doing, buddy?
Wesley Snipes is Blade, huh?
Forever is what he said.
Forever.
Is what he said.
Well.
So
yeah, I guess.
So
I mean, the guy who did the series, the season 1 that didn't do anything, you know, obviously, like me. Yeah, I agree.
So here is, you come back, you big.
Well, and I've got that fire background again that I did not. I'm leaving it this time. Screw it.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm in the backyard here. It's totally light. A fire in the background. Some stumps surrounding the fire because I'm a pagan. Wait, what? We're about to get after we get done with Reggie Nerds. I'm going to do a ritualistic thing where I slaughter a goat. So that's
Nice.
why the fire and the logs are there. A tribunal men, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We should come over.
Well, this took an interesting turn.
Can you imagine cult practices during the pandemic? It's like just one person out there killing an animal instead of everybody. Everybody's Skyping
need to get back
in.
6 feet before you kill that goat.
Everybody's Skyping in, and there's just one person killing a goat.
Can you do a ritualistic sacrifice via Zoom? Isn't it?
You can do pretty much anything via Zoom.
I feel like you have to. I don't feel like there's a choice. Listen, at this point, I'll take the compromise of you guys getting smaller as opposed to bigger. So, you're either going to be the right size or you're going to be a small size, but gosh darn it, you're not going to get any bigger than you are right now. See, told you. You're not going to get any bigger than you are right now.
You're doing really tiny. I've been put into a small, tiny
I'm gonna do this, and then you're gonna explode again. I know it. I just feel it in my bones.
Maybe it's Twitch. Not that we don't love you, Twitch, but
Twitch has messed up on us before. It is one of those things. It's also Friday, so just bad things happen, right? Yeah, I think I've read somewhere that like Twitch is like, if you were looking for like strategic days to stream, Friday's not technically one of the most strategic days to stream. So it is what it is. You know what? I'm not gonna be too fucked up about it. I mean, effed up about it. Listen. New Year's resolution. I am trying.
TJ's bosses are watching.
I know. I'm trying to be better. I've also. I mean, I cleaned up my act on the sports stream. I think I limited myself to where we could probably get a pretty solid PG-13 rating, if nothing else. Now, my drug use and my violence probably tipped it up a little bit higher, but it is what it is. Okay, so Blade Forever. So originally, Wesley Snipes said to all the daywalkers, he put daywalkers in capital letters, so all the daywalkers losing their minds right now, chillax. Although the news comes as a surprise, it's all good, because he put that in all caps too. Such is the business of entertainment. He put those in quotation marks. I don't know why. Much peace to the MCU crew, always a fan. Honor and respect to the Grandmaster Stan. So he made that really rhyme there at the end, and I do appreciate that.
He's going to be a rapper.
Yeah. Congratulations and salam to.
He's got so long left in his career. Why not?
Yeah. So he put that originally when the news broke that they had found a new Blade, and then when was this? January 7th. Someone put, Wes, can you be Blade again? And then Wesley Snipes' tweet follow was, I am Blade ... forever. So all caps, I am Blade ... ellipses. Forever, lowercase forever. So there you go. Which in a time where there's about to be 3 Spider-Men in a movie together, people are now saying, well, if the MCU does like this multiverse of madness stuff, could there be a cameo of a Blade Wesley Snipes?
Well, I mean, to his credit, we don't have anyone to compare him to as far as Blade's character on cinema. So until someone wants to step up to the plate,
series though.
It didn't.
Did they
last
really?
long enough to make an impression on me?
Yeah.
Two of us that don't know.
13 episodes.
How many?
It was on Spike TV. I think
Spike.
Yeah.
So Paramount now.
It's Paramount now.
Okay, so I stand by my original. I stand by my original. Until someone wants to go challenge Mr. Snipes at the official Blade Forever title, I'd say he's got a pretty good case, because there's nothing to compare other than the TV show that nobody's heard of except for TJ. Now, I'm sure there were 3 other people that watched it too.
There was a very stoned Spike TV network executive that's like, this is going to be a great idea.
The guy from Paramount was like, hey, man, why don't we just put this on the air? It's Blade only. Yeah.
The guy that played Blade goes by the name Sticky Fingers.
Nice.
Well,
I think he's probably a musician. I would guess. Otherwise, his family has a cruel sense of humor.
TJ? What do you have against the Fingus family? Okay, that's all I want. I know. Chicken. Why do you hate chicken so much?
Like middle fingers is awesome, but sticky fingers.
Now, I believe there is a Sticky Fingers chicken place in our state somewhere, possibly up by you, MrCAC. But I think there's one in the central part of the state too. And we played there one night for 4 people.
Nice.
It was. Oh wait, no, we didn't. It was the room next door. And I didn't have any of their chicken fingers. I got a lot of their vodka. And some.
Did you get a finger of
beer.
vodka? Is that they use that measurement?
I don't know what they call it. I think it's a glass. But anyways, no, I don't know. I think this is cool. I think when I think of Blade, there's not. Okay, there might be a couple people that go, yeah, Blade, Sticky Fingers, but most people are like, ha, Blade, Wesley Snipes, and then the guy with the Doodle. What's his name? I can't remember his sidekick's name.
Whistler?
It was it's Chris Christopherson.
Whistler?
Doodle.
Doodle. Oh, Doodle. Here comes Blade and Doodle. They're getting their vampires.
Come on, Doodle. I need my sir.
Doodle. Cut to the next scene. Blade enters room to banjo music with Doodle.
Hey there, Mr. Blade.
I'm Blade. I'm a daywalker.
Hey, Mr. Blade, why are you a vampire and you walk out in the sunlight? Could you explain that again in an explanatory way that lets the people watching this first movie know? Shut up, Doodle. I can't wait for you to get eaten in the second act. What? What did you say? Fucking man, Doodle.
Damn it, Doodle.
All right, so going through some talking points here, and I'm deferring this entire conversation to Travis and Jared because I am not a Who head. I'm very novice to the Whovian world. I'm a novice to it. So Doctor Who's Next I thought was clever, and it also ties into another talking point later. I almost thought about playing the theme song of Goldberg. So Doctor Who's Next. So the rumors to set it up for you boys and everyone that may be watching or listening at another time. The rumor is that the current Doctor will be stepping down or exiting or being asked to leave. I don't know what the specifics are there. You can correct me. But we would have another Doctor Who coming up next, and I'm interested in who you guys think that might be, or at least interested in your thoughts on the exit of this current Doctor, if and when it happens after or this upcoming season.
Well, both of us have a lot to say on this for sure. I'm going to let TJ start because I think TJ is much more poignant than I am, but we're, I think, both going to say the same thing.
All right, so the current rumor is that Jodie Whittaker is going to be leaving Doctor Who after this next season. The next season is a shortened season down to 8 episodes due to the ongoing global pandemic. So far, everything is just a rumor at this point, but I find it interesting that the BBC, when asked to comment, says they will not comment on it either way. So it's kind of like they're neither confirming nor denying it, which is pretty interesting. So far, the rumor is that Jodie Whittaker is leaving and that Chris Chibnall is going to stay on as showrunner and head writer because he has to write, seems like every single damn episode that they've had in the past 2 years, which have been garbage. The episodes are horrible. Like, as far as Doctor Who goes, it's not even Doctor Who. It's Doctor Why Bother. You know?
Where'd you get that from?
Probably Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
And, you know, I mean, it's at this point, it's the episode, it's not even Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker's a good actor or actress or however she prefers to be called. Or if
Good call.
Good
call.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really good. And I was excited whenever she got, cast as the Doctor. Because it was like, all right, cool. Finally, something different, a fresh take. This is going to be neat. I'm anxious to watch. And I watched and I was disappointed. And it's just been a constant string of about 20 episodes of disappointment plus with her Doctor. And it's not her, it's the writing. The writing is garbage. It is horrible. It's like they tried to take away everything that was Doctor Who, that made Doctor Who popular and entertaining, and they're like, well, we're just not going to use any of the old monsters. We're going to create our new monsters, and our new monster is like a giant dude with teeth all in his face. It's like, okay.
Excuse me, I keep forgetting to mute when I cough.
And then they go off, and it was just a constant string of disappointment. So like, it doesn't surprise me if she decides to leave Doctor Who, and if it happens after next season. The given how should I say, life expectancy of a doctor is what, like 3 to 4 years?
Well, I mean, Tom Baker holds a record at 4 seasons, and no one has.
Tom Baker holds the record at 7 seasons.
Seven. Okay, so the closest one then would have been, because Tennant had 3, and then Matt Smith had 4, and then Capaldi.
Tennant had 3, and then like a year of holiday specials.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Matt Smith, I think, had about 3 to 4.
By the time it was all said and done, it was probably 5, 6, 7. Well,
so I mean, it's been about 3 years each, with the string of specials in between. So I mean, like it's 3 to 4 years is a given life expectancy of the Doctor. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
That's kind of one of the things that I'm looking at too, is kind of like, hey, you have the life expectancy kind of the Doctor. Who's going to be the next Doctor? It's a part that is very much not meant to be one person for all time.
Yeah,
that's 14. So, but to TJ's point, I was excited too. I was like, and because we watched Jodie Whittaker in another movie or another series called Broadchurch with David Tennant, and I think she's an unbelievably great actor. And so when they announced that, I thought, this is great. And then they announced the new show writer. And I was a big fan of Stephen Moffat because he had the ability to write good, constructive, clean episodes, but still, it was lighthearted, but it was still that element of fear and kind of gloom, doom, and and really at the end of Doctor Who, it's kind of like a Stargate episode. Like they keep you there for 45 minutes. Wondering how they're going to get out of it, and then all of a sudden someone snaps their fingers like, well, we did it. There's no closure at the end of it. They're just kind of like, all right, on the next thing. Kind of like when they walk through the Stargate, it's kind of like, well, we got out of that one. Ha ha ha, what's on next week? And that's one of the things about Doctor Who we love, and we throw this word around a lot, but in many ways the end of every episode gets very campy. It's like you're watching the episode and you're like, something bad is going to happen. How are we going to get out of this? Oh my gosh. And then like the simplest little thing, it's like, well, I've re-engineered my sonic screwdriver to speak the I got now. So now, it's like in the simplest thing throws it all out of whack. But to TJ's point, and I agree with him, I don't know what it was about the writing where they decided they wanted to kind of get away from older stuff. But not only that, the whole thing about Doctor Who was like an adventure. The next episode, they had very few, two-parters. They had, and when they did, they were good. But a lot of episodes of Doctor Who were standalone kind of things. One episode had nothing to do with the other than maybe the season had an theme that they would point at or kind of point out, but it make sense until the season finale or the Christmas episode, in which now they've gone to New Year's episodes. What I don't like about this is they decided that they just wanted to throw that all away. It's not about adventure anymore. It's about, and granted, the Doctor has always been like the problem solver guy, but I felt like there wasn't that adventure kind of, we're going to a random place to see what's going to happen. Ooh, there's a problem in space and time, and now I'm the Doctor. I've got to fix it. It never had that feel to me. And again, to TJ, what TJ said, it wasn't Jodie, and it wasn't even the rest of the cast either. It had nothing to do with the acting. It had everything to do with the writing. The storylines were crap. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that really enjoyed it. And I tried so hard to enjoy it too, but I just could not get around. It's like there's no point to this. There's no meaning. I don't feel anything to this. And it didn't have anything to do with it, because the big controversy at the time was like, oh no, they've cast a woman as the Doctor. And everybody was throwing a fit. It's like, because there was another guy in the running for it, wasn't it? It was oh gosh, what's
I don't know
his name?
if there was another guy in the running for it. I mean, keep in mind, this is a 50-year-old TV show that only had white male actors, and someone came in and cast a woman, and it was like this big thing, like, oh, it's groundbreaking. Well, it's not really. And here's the reason why. Season before, they already did a gender swap on the Doctor's main villain, the Master.
Yes, right.
The Master,
exactly.
or the Mistress. So I mean, it's nothing new. They mentioned it several times that a Time Lord can regenerate into whatever, male, female, or a different species at all,
Yeah.
So it's nothing new. And here's I think the problem, and I hesitate on saying this because it kind of goes the whole like political spectrum kind of thing. The problem with the last several seasons is they tried to force this woke mentality on people. Doctor Who was already a very woke show to begin with.
Right.
And it didn't have to be preachy, but it became preachy in the last 2 seasons, which is, I think, one of the biggest drawbacks that it had. There were episodes of Doctor Who back when Christopher Eccleston was, the Doctor for one season, where it was very, I mean, in today's terminology, woke, but it wasn't preachy. It was just like, this is here. And you look at it and you go, okay, cool. And you move on, I mean,
I think that's a very good point. But
I mean, it became preachy these last 2 seasons. And it became like they're trying to force it.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that it has slowly, and it's not just sci-fi. There's a bunch of excuse me, I'm dying here. There's a bunch of other shows that do it. They feel like, they feel like they have to get, and again, I'm not being political. You asked us Doctor Who's next. Why did there's a lot of things that go into that, where there's a lot of fans that may have a political ideology, and they're fervent about it, and they believe that, whether it is, to use a couple terms, pro-right, pro-left, let's just say that, and let's just say they're pro-left or they're ultimate pro-right, and it's not that element is political. When they turn on their TV sets, they just want to be entertained. They don't want that political element in some way, filtrating down into, it's like, well, I can be political out here. I'm on Twitter, political. Now I'm going to watch Netflix. And then when that filters into some of these shows, it's kind of like, it's not, I'm not saying that was the only reason for Doctor Who, but I will agree with TJ. That's one of the things about the writing that I talked about. It got very preachy. It was kind of, this isn't really fun now. I feel like you're giving me instructions. I just want to watch you use your Sonic to beat a Dalek.
I want to watch you come up with some creative way to save the world.
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense, and you're told just to believe it, and then you don't question it afterwards. I don't want to watch a show about toxic waste turning giant spiders into giant spiders. You know,
Right.
that was literally a theme of one of the episodes. And as far as Doctor Who's next, whoever it is, it doesn't matter.
I'm with
the
you.
same showrunner,
I hope it's not even a person.
If the same showrunner is there, it's still going to be horrible writing. Until they get that part fixed, it doesn't matter who the next Doctor is. You know, the people in the running are generally, you know, either well-known or good actors, or, you know, who would I like to see it be? David Harewood.
What you got there? That's a big glass.
Yeah, it's water. David Harewood.
Still a big glass. Who's kicking stuff?
I don't know. Probably.
Is it me?
It's probably me moving stuff on my desk.
Oh. Go ahead. By the way, MrCAC, you should totally watch Doctor Who.
So anyway, David Harewood.
My Amazon logins, I've got them all.
Y'all know who David Harewood is?
I've heard the name, but it struck me as what else is he in?
Oh, so it's the guy that was Martian Manhunter from the Supergirl series, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
he's Martian Manhunter.
I didn't realize he was British.
Oh yeah, he's very British.
I didn't realize
he was actually in a couple episodes of David Tennant's series, his final 2 episodes. He was he played a character in it. I can't remember who it was.
Wait, which one?
What's
his last name again?
Harewood.
Okay.
He played in The End of Time Part 1 and The End of Time Part 2 as Joshua Naismith.
Okay, all right. I had to pull up his picture.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think he would be excellent.
He would be excellent. If you're a Doctor fan and you like Doctor Who, because you know what's funny about the Doctor? If you're not a fan of Doctor Who, or you've never seen Doctor Who, one of the cool things about the incarnations of the Doctor is each Doctor has sort of their I really think the showrunners are when they say action, they're like, all right, here's the script, you be you though. And you can see that in Eccleston, you get with Tom Baker a lot, maybe not so much. The rest of them have their own kind of quirks, but like Matt Smith, David Tennant, Capaldi especially, and that's another thing from Jodie Whittaker. I felt like they wrote her character to be just kind of a goofball and not serious. You could be serious.
They wrote her to be a background character.
They did. Really did. It's like I felt like the Doctor didn't matter. But the thing about the Doctor is the actor that plays the Doctor kind of gets to incorporate their own personality into it and play themselves in a way. And that's what Baker said in his biography, was that one of the greatest things about Doctor Who is he never felt like it was acting. And this is a classically trained British actor, but he never felt like it was acting. He got to go there and kind of be his quirky self. And I didn't get that with the new series, but this is a guy that we're talking about. I don't know, TJ. I feel like he could roll with this, and I feel like he could roll with it good. But and then you get the whole kind of Fires of Pompeii kind of thing, Doctor Who reference. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen Doctor Who, but Peter Capaldi's character. Not character, but Peter Capaldi was in an episode with David Tennant called The Fires of Pompeii. And then, so when he became the Doctor, fan base erupted, and they're like, how are they going to write him out of this? Well, how are they going to write him out of this? However they talk. But that's kind of one of those things. And Stephen Moffat, by the way, did a good job. Very simply, I know this face. I've seen this face before. It was a guy I saved. And that was it. That's all it took. The Doctor can kind of regenerate into anyone, like TJ said, a woman, lizard man. He could be a zygote.
That's a new alien species.
Dalek.
It's a zygote.
It's like
a zygon, but it's not. It's a zygote.
It's like a small It's like a small zygon. A zygote is a zygon that is this big. Anyways, right, I can see Mr. kind of like going, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. So,
well, so all I was gonna say,
I'll give you my Amazon password.
So I've got Amazon. So
yeah,
what I
but you don't. Well, you have HBO Max.
I don't have HBO Max yet.
File them,
I don't have HBO Max.
So whenever you get HBO Max, like all the Eccleston through Jodie Whittaker series, all of that is on HBO Max.
Gotcha.
So if you buy it for 2 months, you can watch all of them.
Whoa!
Because that's what I did when I was trying to catch up to the 50th anniversary special. And by God, I did that. I watched like 5 episodes of Doctor Who in like 2 months so I could get caught up with TJ and my lady friend at the time, friends at the time, who I don't talk to anymore because it was a bad deal. And that's why I drink now. One of the reasons. But anyways, I crammed Doctor Who. I'd never even heard of the show. I was like, okay, whatever. And the first episode I watched with this one, I was like, this is stupid. PJ was
it
like,
very much was.
Hang in there.
The first time I saw an episode, it was like on. First time I ever saw an episode, it was on like Sci-Fi Channel, like Saturday mornings, like at 6:00, and all I saw was this gorgeous blonde in like this tight white shirt, and I'm like, I could watch this. And then I started watching it. I'm like, wait a minute, this show is actually pretty interesting.
I remember starting out not liking it, and by the time I got to the end of Matt Smith by catching up, and then we had the 50th, and we had the Christmas episodes, and then we had the 50th. It was like I was totally just I was the Whovian. I've built 2 TARDISes.
It's impressive.
One I gave to the girl that I don't talk to anymore.
What would be the plural of TARDIS?
Tartai.
Tartai.
So when you guys,
anyway, I've spoken my piece on Doctor Who. So
when you guys were talking about kind of how like the writing has gotten bad, listen, I and again, this is I want this show to be more of an escape. But at the same time, I think talking about at least in the media side of things, I think there is a big overcorrection of things, and I think this happens in waves every time something starts to transition in society. Media gets hit pretty hard, and a lot of stuff gets choppy writing, whether it's to be subversive and put it over the top to beat the topic end over your head, so that way it's starting to affirm this notion, or if it's the studio selling out to try to garner the attention of this group. It's always going to be one of those things. I think when you were talking, the first thing I thought of was Ghostbusters Answer the Call, the 2016 all-female reboot, because we've talked about this before. I think the actresses are fine for that movie. I think Melissa McCarthy could have been better. I don't think that was her finest work. But like Kate McKinnon, awesome. Leslie Jones for Leslie Jones's character, I think was very adequate. And then Kristen Wiig, she was kind of like a glue type character. She didn't really win you over too much, but she wasn't bad. And then, Thor, he was good at what he was doing until a dance sequence, and then it just got shitty. But I mean, that was like, when I think about things I hated about the Ghostbuster 2016 movie as a Ghostbuster fan, it had nothing to do with them being all female. It had everything to do with Paul Feig trying to fucking beat it upside your head. Hey, in case you didn't know, they're all female. All female. I was like, all right, man, I get it. Like, that's cool. That's great. And I really love this. And I think you see this in other things. So, like, Black Christmas is a horror film that had an original release, like had an original movie back in like the 70s or 80s or whatever. And it was a pretty, and most horror movies after a certain point, when like the final girl trope became a thing, are actually pretty super feminist in a lot of like their imagery and a lot of what the message they're trying to convey there. But like Black Christmas was one where it's like, all right, there is a lot of feminist notions tied into this movie. And then there was a remake made in the 2000s, and instead of, paying tribute to that or honoring that, they're like, you know what? we have to go deeper. We have to go further. We have to completely shit on the original notion of this movie and make this all I am woman, hear me roar. And again, I get it. There is a change that needs to happen, and unfortunately, we're caught in a situation right now where we're going to be beaten over the head with some really hokey writing to try to get us to that point. But yeah, no, I think writing is such a bad thing. And if we want to tie it to wrestling, man, writing is just god awful everywhere. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have decent writing, or at least a decent creative director, it goes to crap. So, all right. Well, I was just curious because, I'm not a big Doctor Who person, so I was interested to see kind of what was going on there. So from Whovians to the High Republic. That's young Yoda, by the way. And by young, he's only 700 years old in that picture.
Only.
Yes.
Because he's 900 when we see him in Star Wars, the 9 movie awfulness. Some good, some bad. Some better in hindsight. So the High Republic stuff is coming out right now. The rollout. So there was a trailer released for the High Republic. The High Republic is Star Wars rebranding, right? They're wanting to move away from the Skywalker thing because Kathleen Kennedy killed that.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So Star Wars.
I was just about to say I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, are you also needing to leave?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So Star Wars
I'll leave with TJ.
So Star Wars has moved away, or is moving away from the Skywalker saga, and now they're to do that. The only thing they could think of was, let's go 200 years in the past. So the High Republic. Right now, it's going to be comics and novels, and the first form a film of this new saga of Star Wars will be the Acolyte Disney Plus show. So not a lot of stuff has come out about that yet, but it'll be filmed during the High Republic also. So all these comics and novels that are about to come out will be these separate stories in an intertwined, overarching story and connected universe of this High Republic setting. Jared, are you excited to see a golden age of Jedi?
Well, yes and no. Because I kind of like and I'm not a comics guy or a novels guy. I like to read more so 10 years I do now. But I was excited about this too because I want to see the movie and or the series because I feel that's one of those things other than Rogue One, none of the before stuff has been really addressed. I mean, they kind of, I guess, well, not Rogue One, but I guess episodes 1, 2, and 3, which were god awful. I feel like they kind of left they left a void there where it's kind of like, okay, well, that happened and that's neat. And you address some things, but you didn't really do a good job at it or really make me believe, so I feel like this is kind of Disney's way to say, no offense to Mr. Lucas and his wonderful Lucasness. But I feel like this is kind of one of those Disney is kind of like saying, and sweet Jesus, I hope it is they've come up with so far. But I hope Disney is finally trying to say, okay, this is the prequel. This is where it all began and all the crap got started. The High Republic. When things were good, and then it started to go bad. Being that it's Disney, and as much as I love/hate Disney, I'm excited about this, but I feel like they're just going to let me down again.
I don't know. The Mandalorian's really, really good.
Have you finished season 2 yet? Because I don't like to watch it until all the episodes.
Oh yeah, all the episodes are done. All the episodes are done.
Good.
Mm-hmm. You need to watch it all.
Yep,
watch it all so we can talk about it.
TJ, you talk for a little bit now. Let TJ talk for a little bit now while I take my Friday night 10 after 10 little break.
Okay. So TJ, High Republic. I don't know if you're well versed in what we're doing here, but Star Wars is wanting to separate itself a little bit from the Skywalker saga, so they're going 200 years into the past to talk about a time that is referred to as the Golden Age of Jedi. And so you'll have 700 really wearing it well. Actually, he looks as old as he does in the prequel trilogy, which I guess who knows what the difference between 800, 700 and like 860 is, but it visually doesn't look like it's too much of a difference. So we're gonna have the High Republic, Golden Age of Jedi. It's going to right now the rollout is comics and novels, and then the first piece of film, whether that's TV or an actual theater type production, will be the Acolyte series on Disney Plus. So are you excited to see? And it's basically going to be a Jedi show. Are you excited to see a Jedi show?
As long as they do it better than episode 1, 2, and 3, as far as the Jedi goes, yeah, I could probably get into it. I'm not a big fan. Like, I like The Mandalorian and I like Rogue One, and because they don't lie heavily on the whole Jedi thing.
You haven't seen the newest season, have you?
I haven't seen season 2 yet. But I mean, it's not like
no, yeah,
like
I
you said,
agree.
like the Skywalker, yeah. So, I mean, I'd definitely be interested in seeing it just because it breaks away from the Skywalker saga. Just like I liked Rogue One. Like we decided a couple of weeks ago that Rogue One was like the best Star Wars movie because it is. Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in seeing that. Like, I mean, I see kind of where they're going with the rollout with the comics and the novels. They're, I guess, gauging, like, setting up stories and kind of gauging interest and stuff in them. And, so, yeah, I mean, it'd definitely be interesting. It'd be a nice break from what we normally have, which is, I'm Luke Skywalker's father for 3 movies. Then I'm, Luke Skywalker for 3 movies. And then I'm Rey Skywalker for 3 movies. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So I am so curious to see I'm so curious to talk to you and Jared after you both have seen this most recent season of The Mandalorian, just to see if maybe your viewpoint has had any kind of modification. And there's a lot of spoilers out there, so if you've already been spoiled on it, I don't want to further spoil things for you. But there are characters that are introduced this season, so I mean that's not anything weird. And you already know Moff Gideon has a lightsaber. He has the dark saber, so I mean like that's not too surprising. So there's lightsaber play that's gonna happen in this season because Moff Gideon for sure has one. But
is Starbuck actually playing a Mandalorian character?
Who?
Sorry. Crap, what is her name? Katie Sackhoff? She plays Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica. I think she did the voice of
Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, I think so.
So no, they
is that the one
they
casted
the
Mandalorian that takes off her helmet.
That is not. So it's so weird, man. So okay, the Mandalorian that you're talking about that takes off her helmet is actually played by the voice actress from the cartoon series because she's been in more than just the Clone Wars, but she appeared in the Clone Wars first and then was in some of Dave Filoni's other stuff. So they did that, but then they recasted the Ahsoka Tano characters. So there's
that is Katie Sackhoff, the Bo-Katan.
Oh, is that okay? I didn't know who it was.
It's Katie Sackhoff.
Then yes.
No, you talk. Yeah. Okay. She's excellent in pretty much anything she's in. So
yeah, she's pretty good in this.
That'd be interesting.
She's pretty good in this.
What is her name? She was in Clerks too, wasn't she?
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson. Yeah, the plays the one Jedi with the.
Oh, she's so good, man. She's so good. She's so good, and you don't even really see her all that much. So, what it is I think after this season of The Mandalorian, one, I am satisfied that there exists a medium where you get Star Wars without the necessity of Jedi. But this season has done a pretty good job of reminding me of all the things that could be good with Jedi characters. And then there is a really, really satisfying moment in this season. There's several satisfying moments depending on what you're looking for as a Star Wars fan. But there is a moment in this season where you're like, you know what? I really, 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 really want to see this taken and just expanded upon, because that is probably the best piece of Star Wars that's happened. And there are people that are saying that, right? There are people that have said the closing minutes of this season are some of the best Star Wars footage ever produced since the original trilogy. So not to overhype it for you, TJ, when you go and watch it, but to let you know that for me, I think I agree with you. I don't necessarily need all my Star Wars content to just be Jedi, 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 Sith, Jedi, 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 Sith. I like The Mandalorian for the longest part strayed away from that idea, but as soon as the child was introduced, you were always going to have a crashing point where the Jedi would have to be brought in to some degree, right? But it's very, very good season. Very good
that's
season.
The thing is, I mean, we're talking about a universe that is like, tons of planets, tons of star systems that they go to, and yet they've only really been to a few of them at this point. I mean, I like the world building, like, series. Show what else is out there. If you have like a creature in one small episode or something like that, that you're like, wow, we'd like to see where that creature's planet is, and go to it and have a cantina scene. Cantina scenes are always fun, apparently.
Yeah. All right, enough about Star Wars. Let's get to Star Trek. Listen, y'all. There's a replicator that is finally.
Jared, are you caught up on Star Trek?
No, but I looked up this to find out what's going on.
Discovery.
I got some reading on to find out the good shit about this story. So
I'll tell you.
So recently on Star Trek Discovery, they made knowledge known of where and how the replicator works. So the replicator, for those of you uninitiated into Star Trek, is this reoccurring little side piece, and not ever a big piece of the plot, but just a little thing there that shows you, okay, they just replicate stuff. And that stuff isn't magic, right? They're a science-driven society. So for that thing to create stuff just magically, that means it has to take something. So there was never really explained how they were getting this material to build something new. But Star Trek Discovery has spilled some beans on this. And
all I can say is it's something that people produce in abundance.
Yeah.
That you'd never even think of.
Forrest Gump says it happens.
Yeah. So I like the little GIF, whatever they're called, thing that you have, because that's like before like even replicators are introduced into like Star Trek canon. That's like Star Trek Enterprise. Like they don't even have replicators in Starfleet at this point. Which is neat because I didn't think that they had them on the original series either. But with Discovery, apparently we find out that they do, and they have finally decided to tell us what goes into making replicated food. So when you tell someone in Star Trek to eat shit, they can literally just go to the replicator and do it. Choose what flavor of shit that they want.
Soylent Green is shit.
It's literally shit.
Yeah.
It's literally you walk over to a replicator and you go, you know what? I think I'd have a pizza today. And that pizza is literally shit. It's shit pizza.
Yep. So the theory behind it, right, is this. It takes matter, breaks it down to an atomic level, rearranges it into something new. But unlike, I think the implication is that it hasn't always been poop, but right now times are hard in Star Trek Discovery, and this is poop. This is for sure poop.
So in the whatever century they're in Discovery, you're literally eating your own shit. Like, I'm sure Next Generation era, they may have had
still had apples.
They may have had like protein cubes or something that the replicator would take and turn the food into. But we're talking Star Trek Discovery. Starfleet is like literally a cluster of ships and space stations all huddled under one like giant shield, and they can't go anywhere because there's no way that they can go anywhere. So what do? They eat their own shit.
They eat their own poopy.
You know what? This reminds me of an episode of a Family Guy where Adam West was trying to eat dinner, and some guy goes in there or no, it wasn't Adam West who was trying to eat dinner. What was it? Tom Tucker?
Tom Tucker.
Tom Tucker, yeah. Was trying to eat dinner, and he was on the, like he had the plate on the toilet, and like someone comes in and just pulls his pants down, sits on it. He's like, "Are you gonna be long? I'm very hungry."
Yeah.
Oh. But I mean, it kind of throws you through a loop too, because you're like, you watch Star Trek. I've watched Star Trek for years. I've watched it. It's by far my favorite show series. Like, and now I know that they eat shit.
Yep. But they don't. But do they really though? Because like when he explains it, when they break it down to an atomic level, because I mean, let's face it.
I like his response. Tastes pretty good for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes pretty good for shit. So this is all theoretical, but let's say we have a nugget of poop, and you have drank a glass of milk, a chicken nugget, and eaten 3 flaming hot Cheetos. All of that is in that nugget of poop. So if we can break it down to an atomic and find out all the elements that, and keep in mind, here's the weird part. Everything you eat, the poop that comes out is the waste of that product. So any vitamins in that are going into your cells. Any good part of that food is going into your cells. The rest of it is the byproduct and the waste. So to be able to break it down to a have to work like you got levels of this could be a Cheeto. So that my thing with the whole deal was like I guess I'll make an apple. So, but I mean, realistically, if you look at it and consider the technology that they have, when you think about it that way, things down to like engineer it, that really shit. I mean, but I don't know that, like, because and then when he explained it, like, I, by the way, being here on Earth right now, still not a fan.
Yeah.
I'll still take my pure sausage.
Listen, poets of our generation, Slipknot once said, "People equal shit." So, I guess you're eating what you are. I mean, I guess that's a good thing, I guess.
Or Jared, I'm gonna tell you this.
True.
Jared, I'm gonna tell you this. Like on my screen, you were breaking up a whole lot, so I couldn't understand a lot of what you were saying. Ooh. No, but I know you were talking about shit, and then I heard be a Cheeto. And I was just like,
we've all been there with our poop.
That could have been a Cheeto.
Yeah. No, like, listen, it's so...
We need better internet.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, yes, it's not poop while you're eating it, but it was poop. Like,
was poop at
but
the
to
time.
be fair, the FDA guideline, you're probably still currently eating poop anyway, so at least in the Star Trek universe, it gets reconstituted in something else and not just happen to make it into the food that was processed for you.
That's right. I mean, how many, in a pound of ground beef right now, they allow 0.00004 pounds of cockroach droppings.
Yeah, I mean, if you're eating Taco Bell, you're eating poop, so you're eating poop to make poop.
And you're pooping.
Yeah, you're eating poop to make poop. Which I will still eat. Well, actually, I won't. They changed their menu up, and I'm pretty upset with Taco Bell right now.
I still like their Grande Cordita Crunch.
That's fair. That's fair. They do have like a box deal that was pretty good. But like, I miss all the potatoes.
Don't get rid of the quesadilla, I'm good.
I miss the potatoes.
Nacho fries with that guy in the commercial with Stranger Things.
Yeah. Steve or whatever his name is.
Steve, and his hair's the same.
Steve
They're
the
like,
pirate.
we're not even going to mess with your hair for this commercial because everybody knows who you are. So we're not going to play with your hair, 80s kid who's like 17. Anyway, next topic.
Snyder cut and done. DCEU done. So when TJ tossed this out there, I was like, man, this is a nightmare. I shouldn't have done it this way, but I stuck with it anyways. So TJ, when you threw it out there, you made it sound like Snyder was done. Now I've read, I don't want to say I've heard because no one's talking to me. I've read on the interwebs that this was WB's doing of. They wanted him to go ahead and do this and be done with it, and then they never want to see Snyder ever again in the DCEU. So, if the Snyder cut is the last of Snyder's involvement with DCEU, how do you boys feel about that? And will your opinion change if this is a cinematic masterpiece in 4 episodes?
TJ, you want to go first? You want me to go? Okay, I'll go first. Delay. Damn delay. I've always liked Zack Snyder, and I thought that some of his DC stuff was really on point, but at the same time, kind of like the Doctor Who thing, I feel like they tried to rush things, and some of the writing was not there, but there was a clear path for it, but it wasn't quite there. I think this is Zach's way of saying, hey, I've kind of been bridled by the powers that be, and I don't want, I'm going to kind of do my own thing now. And I feel like whatever he has creative a little, once it gets the opportunity to be out there without, kind of an in his own way, I really feel like it's going to be good, whatever it is. Which is why I'm kind of like digging the Snyder cut. I'm waiting for this, but I'm more, and this is another topic, but I'm waiting to see what comes out. He's done with DC. Doesn't mean he stops. So I'm curious to see what is in his brain without the influence or objections of others.
Travis, are you wanting? So Travis, say the Snyder cut, its 4-episode miniseries is amazing, and you after watching it are like, holy crap, I want to see this story continued, and WB's like, no, would you be satisfied?
After sitting through what was the theatrical release of Justice League, which by no means, I mean, it wasn't great, but it was like watching, a 2-hour-long episode of Justice League cartoon, in a sense.
Yeah.
No real wrap up to the story, no real,
yeah,
repercussions going forward. So, would I be content with, if this is a masterpiece, with Zack Snyder not doing any more Justice League? Yeah, I think I'd be fine with it. I mean, there's just been so much damn problems, with Zack Snyder and the Justice League movie. The whole, like, Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, like, oh, they're taking a darker turn and stuff like that. I thought like Justice League was supposed to be that movie that really takes it from that darker turn and starts bringing that brighter future. Now, that's to say Zack Snyder won't be making any more Justice League or any more DC movies, but who's not to say that he won't be brought on as some kind of producer? Yeah. And have some say in how it's going, especially if a sequel to Justice League is, brought forward. I mean, my understanding with it is they weren't ever going to make a Justice League 2 after the theatrical release and how it pretty much flopped.
Yeah.
Right. And the DCU has pretty much been said and done with at this point. It's now the DC multiverse. We're just going to have a lot of standalone movies and call it a multiverse. And then maybe sometime down the road, do a Justice League movie. Find some way to do one. So, like, at this point, I'm not even looking for like a MCU kind of compatible DC Comics universe. I'm just looking to be entertained by some of the DC Comics characters, as opposed to, like, we don't need the 3 Batman movies and the 3 Superman movies and 3 Wonder Woman movies and 3 Flash movies, and then all of a sudden, let's do a big team up movie. We don't need that. MCU did it. They did it to death, and they're going to keep doing it to death. I mean, let's just have the DC come out with these movies, have them be decent in some sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm actually really excited. I want to see Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, because it's been a long time coming for it. So, and he finally gets a chance to show what his vision of the film was going to be.
No. So I think it's a weird spot to put yourself in if you're Warner Brothers, right? Like, say this does like set the world ablaze. Like, you already see it starting to happen, right? You see people clamoring for Batfleck, and that's probably a dead end. Like, there's probably not going to be any more Ben Affleck as Batman after this point. I think it's a weird thing where you do this, and like, what if people really, really like it? Because you can't, as a studio, say, well, we're done though. Yeah. Like, I feel like if this is too successful, you have locked yourself into at least another attempt at it. And listen, if you're Zack Snyder, I don't know why you would ever move away from the HBO Max miniseries version of this.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Well, think of it this way too. Like, if this blows up and becomes like super huge and super popular, why not do an HBO Max miniseries of Justice League 2?
Oh, I think that's I hope more creatively large stories are taken and made into miniseries than what we've previously gotten. I hope that Disney Plus is throwing Marvel stuff on Disney Plus, and Snyder Cut, hopefully it's successful, leads to at least more selective choices of this. Not everything, but selective choices.
I think that's the way this honestly needs to go with a lot of stuff. Like, for DC especially. DC's always been better at the series than anything else. You look at their CW verse, formerly Arrowverse,
which is collapsing now. Which is collapsing.
Oh yeah, it's collapsing big time because
it lasted a lot longer than I thought people would.
Oh yeah, Supergirl is ending. The Flash is about the only one that's going to be going. I mean, it is collapsing pretty fast. But look at what they did though with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that lasted how many years? And yet they had so many good stories and good team ups and everything as well. I mean, why not do like stick to a series kind of thing? You can keep your Batman movies and your Superman movies like standalone big screen things, but you've got this DCEU that you've already started with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Wonder Woman. Why not have a couple of HBO miniseries? Finish it out. Finish it out. And then still go with your standalone movies. You got the Flash movie coming up that's supposed to have, Michael Keaton is supposed to come back as Batman. It's also supposed to have Ben Affleck as Batman in it too. There's supposed to be like several different kinds. Several different characters,
Introducing Michael Keaton as Batman. Ben Affleck as Batman. This person on the street.
Adam West as Batman. Sorry.
The guy from Whose Line Is It Anyway and Drew Carey Show as Batman. Okay, so moving on in another direction, but still in a Snyder Cutty way, we have a movie that he has coming out on Netflix that, Jared, if you don't mind, I would love for you to give me a rundown of what this is, because when you said zombie heist movie called Army of the Dead, I was like, I feel like maybe I've misread the title of this, because when I hear Army of the Dead, my first thought is Army of Darkness. But then when I'm like, okay, it's not Army of Darkness. It's a zombie thing, but like, Army of the Dead makes it sound like, there's going to be like a military installation that's holding out against these zombies. But then when you said heist movie, I was like, wait a minute, they're stealing something. Now I'm very curious as to what's going on.
Okay, here's the thing. This is what's really troubling me, and I'm pulling it up here on the old phone here. I don't know. I just saw it and I thought this would be a great topic to talk about. There's no trailer for this thing yet. There's just a bunch of actors in costumes, and I will give you one. Dave Bautista is going to be in this. We've got Tig Notaro from Stargate. That's the one who the engineer that they rescued that can. There's a bunch of other names. Diadela Humericus. I recognize anybody else other than what this is about. There's Army of the Dead. There's a zombie heist. I read kind of a thing where it's like, think about it, like they're trying to, I don't know if it was a bank or they're trying to break into something to get something, and then the Army of the Dead kind of consumes them and they have to get them away. It sounded like it was like,
So here's the plot write-up from Wikipedia's from their Wikipedia page. A group of mercenaries plot a heist on a Las Vegas casino during a zombie outbreak. That's it. That's it. That's the one. That's the line. And you know what? That does sound like a really interesting one-sentence description of this.
So I guess the plot is they figured the heist on the casino. Everybody either dead or zombies because apocalypse has ensued, and then they have to fight zombies with Bautista. I'm not sure if it's going to be fantastic or if it's going to be somewhat good, but I can't think of any way that this movie is bad. And I will watch it. I will.
I was looking at the cast list, and so Dave Bautista, as you said, and then Tig Notaro is also on there. The only other name that stood out to me was Theo Rossi, and that's if you've watched Sons of Anarchy. It's Juice.
Oh. Where'd TJ go? He ran away.
I heard the dog. I heard his dog whimper, so I think he's taking care of the poopers. I think he's taking care of the poopers.
He's got to take care of the poopies.
Yeah.
We're talking about, if TJ's smart, he'll salvage that poop and turn it into a slice of bologna
or a Cheeto. Cheetos are such made up nonsense anyway. And listen, I love puffy Cheetos, but it's just made up nothingness. It's like, have you ever wanted to eat food that's not real? Cheetos. Like
puffy air with better flavor.
So are we done? We done talking about Army of the Dead?
If you had any thoughts, I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard the single line sentence of the tagline. It's a group of mercenaries plot a heist on a Las Vegas casino during a zombie outbreak.
So I think, honestly, we've actually talked about this a while back.
We did very briefly.
Yeah. I think it's actually supposed to be kind of a sequel set in the same universe as the Dawn of the Dead remake that he did,
right? Or
that someone did. So, honestly, zombies have been done to death at this point. It's got Dave Bautista. That's the only draw power that it has to it. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just going to be another zombie movie.
Hell yeah, but with Bautista.
Yeah, but with Dave Bautista.
So I think it's interesting.
And you know what? Let's go ahead and throw Goldberg in there for the ratings. Sorry.
Which he's next anyways. Who's next? Goldberg's next. This was announced in 2008 by Universal Studios and Warner Brothers, and then went to developmental hell for the rest of that time until Netflix was like, not only will we let you do this, Zack Snyder, but you should make an anime prequel and I think just another prequel, right? It's a prequel film and an anime television series are in development to expand the franchise. So Netflix all on board with Army of the Dead. For whatever reason, they are firmly committed. Which Netflix is doing a lot of anime things now. There is a X-Men anime on Netflix now that I have to check out. I really want to check out, but I just haven't found the time to devote to that yet. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about with the dead, but we've got this next.
Does this music not in some sense remind you of Game of Thrones?
Yes. Yes. I think I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that notion. And because WWE super copyrights everything, I don't want to play it any longer.
Yeah.
Than that.
I'd rather be owned by WWE than the Wendy Williams.
I don't know. I think Wendy Williams treated us right, and who knows, if we parlay that Wendy Williams, we might get some KFC out of it. You know, I don't want to. Wendy, we still love you. Come back to us. So this isn't a typo. I meant to put Oldberg returns and other wrestling junk. So the other wrestling junk.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, right.
I didn't even notice.
You don't need to. So Jared and TJ, did you see the Goldberg return on Monday night Raw Legends?
No.
So let's get down to the brass tacks on this. Legends Night on Raw is a shameless ploy to bring back people who can probably barely walk and need a little bit of extra money.
That was actually a plot point of this Legends Night.
In order for Vince McMahon to boost ratings and appease the USA Network. That being said, it is not bad seeing a few of these people from time to time. Sergeant Slaughter looks the same as he always has.
Yeah.
You know, Hulk Hogan is still going to be brother. Hulk Hogan. Brother. Yeah. You know, even seeing like someone like the Boogeyman and stuff like that. Here's the thing about the Goldberg segment. Apparently they screwed this up.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Oh yeah.
to where I didn't watch it live. I watched like the YouTube afterwards and I was like, wait a minute. Why is Goldberg saying this stuff that Drew McIntyre said? When did Drew McIntyre come out and say this stuff?
Never.
He didn't.
Nope.
He didn't do it. He was supposed to cut a promo after his match, but he couldn't. And Goldberg just comes out and is like, I heard what you're saying to these people, and I'm going to challenge you to a fight. Now, it's so nice with an up-and-comer like Goldberg for them to actually give him a title shot on his first night on Raw. I mean, you know, like, I mean, it's so nice that they're going to go ahead and they're going to do this for this new guy who's, you know, barely even been in a ring in his life. You know, that they're just going to be like, hey, you know what? We think highly of you. We're going to give you a title shot.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Yeah.
The damn problem with WWE right now is they don't build any stars. And the only way they can get ratings is to bring back a bunch of people who have retired and really have no use of being in a ring, you know, in order to keep their company relevant. But yet, here in 15 years, when Goldberg's in his 80s, are they still going to bring him back for Royal Rumble?
No.
Are they going to bring him back for his WrestleMania title match? You know, is he going to be... He's going to give the belt for like 3 or 4 months in order to put over some new guy that they're not going to build the star out of, so they're just going to have to take it and put it on him again. I mean, who's going to be the stars on Legends Night in 15 and 20 years? They don't have any.
So, I think the reality we need to accept is the ratings were higher on Raw, which means that WWE and Vince McMahon, okay, Jared, is going to view this as Goldberg brings ratings, which means Goldberg is going to beat Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah, that's a definite. Goldberg's going to face McIntyre at the Royal Rumble, they're not gonna not put the belt on Goldberg.
But see, here's the
He's
thing.
gonna beat Drew McIntyre. He's gonna beat Drew McIntyre in a 5-minute match after hitting 4 spears and kicking out after a Claymore. You know, there's not gonna be any match.
Here's the thing that upsets me about this. I thought, because I knew the rumors were already circulating that Goldberg was going to appear again, but it sounded like it was going to be coming back to wrestle Roman Reigns, because that's who his WrestleMania opponent was supposed to be last year.
Yeah, WWE botched that.
Yeah, I thought this was supposed to be, when Goldberg came back, he was going to be targeting Roman Reigns, which makes sense because people want to see the spear versus spear, even though in actuality it won't be a good match unless, Roman Reigns just makes it a really good sold match. Because Goldberg doesn't have any gas in the tank. Look at it. Look at this picture that I used. You can see that he's sweating almost as much as Drew McIntyre, who wrestled for 30 minutes. And Goldberg just walked to the ring.
So this is how I see things playing out, and I'm making my predictions here. Goldberg gets the title Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre will challenge him and get his rematch at WrestleMania and get the belt back. Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble to face Roman Reigns. That's what I see.
So another thing that upsets me is that they made it a plot point to give The Miz back the money in the briefcase, but there is no world in between Roman Reigns, Goldberg, and Drew McIntyre that he is going to cash in successfully, or that you would even believe he's about to cash in successfully. Now, I would lose my mind and give money to the WWE if Goldberg beat McIntyre and somehow The Miz came in and cashed in on Goldberg. Now, there is no possible way Bill Goldberg, who is a notorious dick with his booking, will ever agree to the notion that someone that looks like The Miz is going to pin him clean or take the belt off him or beat him in general. So that'll never happen. But if it did happen, I would have a renewed love for the WWE.
Keep in mind that The Miz doesn't have long to cash that in, apparently.
He's got